What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today is episode 1 of answering comments. So if you want a comment or question answered, feel free to put it in the comment section below on this video, and you might in fact be on the next video. So let's get into it. First question we have is, what criteria do you use to select stocks that have the potential to spike higher? Now you have a question number 2, which is regarding to scanning. These questions are very similar, but I'm going to kind of break down the difference. So if we're talking about what criteria I use when deciding whether or not to buy a stock because I feel it's going to spike higher, I think would be the more appropriate question there. So when it comes down to looking at stocks and figuring out whether or not they're going to spike higher, it doesn't really come down to actually scanning or using any sort of scanning criteria, like on a computer or a software. Really, the scanning is all done in my head. And what I mean by that is, if I'm trying to determine whether or not something's going to go up, it usually comes down to just looking at the chart. So it's not specifically, a criteria I'm putting in a scanner to determine whether or not this is going to spike higher, or I'm not necessarily scanning for a stock with this market cap that has a relative volume of this to determine that that's going to be a good stock to trade for the day. More often times than not, deciding whether or not to take a position, buy something or sell something intraday while trading usually comes down to the intraday formation that the stock is making. That will typically be the determining factor between whether or not I buy something or don't. All right, so it's not usually a criteria that I'm scanning for to decide that a stock's going to move higher. It's more oftentimes than not comes down to analyzing the chart and doing some technical analysis to determine whether or not the stock is going to move higher for me, okay? But if your question is in regard to penny stocks that have the potential to have big moves, then yes, that does come down to some scanning, which we'll get into the next video here, or in the next question. All right, so the following question is, how do you scan for momentum stocks, and what software do you use for scanning? So just to clear things up, momentum stocks don't exist. They're not even a thing. Really, it's just stocks. There's only stocks. There aren't momentum stocks, nothing like that. Momentum is just a word we use to explain or refer to a strong move in a stock. A stock is having strong moves up or strong moves down, so the stock is having a big momentum push up or big momentum push down. Momentum is really just there to refer to the stock's activity, movement, and how it's trading. Momentum, those big moves that you see in stocks, come because there is a big shift in momentum in the stock. Those shifts can happen out of downtrends or they can happen out of uptrends, whereas a stock is uptrending very nicely and then all of a sudden it shifts to momentum and you see a really fast aggressive drop down, or a stock is trending down and then it has a really fast aggressive shift in momentum and then a stock explodes to the upside. So those momentum moves happen on stocks, and they can happen for numerous reasons, whether it's breaking out of a downtrend, breaking out of an uptrend, breaking out of a pattern, a head and shoulders formation, tons of different possibilities as to why momentum picks up in the market or on any given stock on any given day. It could be numerous amounts of reasons. So it's not that you're looking for momentum stocks. You're looking for setups on stocks that can have more momentum over maybe this stock on the day, or this setup looks better to trade than this setup right now today because for whatever reason. Okay, so you're looking for formations and setups that would be likely to cause a shift in momentum is really what you're looking for there. So how do you scan for momentum stocks, and what software do you use? So the scanning software that I use is Trade Ideas, and these are kind of an idea as far as what their scanners look like. Let me do this and go like that. So this is, Trade Idea scanners, and I'm pulling up a high day scanner. Here's and then 2 gap scanners. So here's a high day and then high day, up gapping, down gapping. So the one you see here is to alert us of stocks that are basically spiking up on the day. The one you see here that I'm dragging down is an up gapping stock scanner. So this scans for stocks that are gapping up in the morning before the market opens. And then the one you see here on the far right in red is a down gap scanner, which basically scans for stocks gapping down. So if we kind of move this to the side maybe a bit like that, and what we'll do is we'll pull up this scanner right here and this one here, and we'll take a look at a couple of these stocks on here so you get an example. So if we go down the list, I'll use one that's actually that makes sense to use. Give me a second. All right, so like WBA. So we'll look at WBA. That was on the scanner. You'll see that it had a big spike this morning pre-market. So that scanner is helping us find these stocks in the morning time before the market opens. So the green one's going to find stocks that are doing moves like this, maybe not so big, maybe smaller, like PCTI. Here's a stock that gapped up this morning on the scanner. Slight gap up. CARB gapped up this morning on the scanner. So the scanner on the top will show us stocks that are gapping up, and then the one on the bottom will show us stocks that are gapping down or having large moves down in the morning. And this scanner can help us identify stocks that we would like to trade. And so when it comes to penny stocks, these will pick up different penny stocks. Here's one it picked up today, which is SENS. Didn't really have a good move. We had PRTS on the scanner today. Didn't really have that all great of a move. TRNX was on the scanner this morning from a slight gap, and that had a decent trading day. So the scanner can alert us of penny stocks, of large cap stocks, pretty much any stocks that are making moves in the morning. Same thing with this one down here. It can tell us of any stocks that are really moving downwards in the morning for good moves, right? So in regards to your question, right, how do you scan for momentum stocks? Well, we'll use these scanners to pick up stocks pre-market pre-market. And then I'll use a scanner like this to try and catch things that are moving in the immediate time frame, like right now. And I'll show you an example of that here in just a bit. So to wrap up the question, we use trade ideas for scanning here at our trading company and for myself, obviously. So we use trade ideas that will help us find penny stocks that are moving in the middle of the day, stocks moving in the morning pre-market. So if you'd like, there will be a link in the description to trade ideas. It is an affiliate link, and next to the affiliate link, you will find a 15% off coupon to save you some money when signing up. And then also there will be an email, which is my email. Direct message me or send me a message there through my email and ask for my scanners, and then I can send you kind of like a link, and you'll be able to download these exact same scanners into your Trade Ideas software so that you have all the same scanners as we do, and you don't have to go through the trial and error process of trying to set them up. So if you do go ahead, you do get Trade Ideas, or you already have Trade Ideas, just send me an email, and then I can send you over a link so that you can download all these scanners so you don't have to build them, okay? All right, on to the next question. May I know the broker and or platform you use for trading, and can I use it here in West Africa, Ghana? So I use TD Ameritrade as my brokerage, and Thinkorswim is the trading platform. No, you can't use it in West Africa. Pretty much anybody that lives outside of the United States usually has a tough time trying to get involved with TD Ameritrade, so you most likely won't be able to use it. Other platforms that I would recommend if you're going to be doing some trading would be Interactive Brokers or Trade Zero. I would look at those two companies if you're located outside of the United States and you're looking to get into a nice equities broker. I think Trade Zero and Interactive Brokers would be kind of my two top recommendations as of right now. Going back to touch on question number 2, because I did forget something. Okay. In regards to catching fast momentum stocks, okay, we can use these scanners. And for example, if we pull this up, FSCT was alerted on this scanner. And the move that FSCT had was this. A big spiking move, okay? So this had a very fast spiking move, and these might be the kind of stocks you're referring to in your question about momentum stocks. If you're trying to catch moves like this, it's going to be very unlikely that you catch them. Anytime that they do happen, they're extremely fast, and the likelihood that you actually catch the move is pretty much not going to happen. Every once in a while, you'll be able to catch one, or they'll have some really good continuation, and they'll keep moving. Those are far and few between, and the likelihood that you ever catch them is very, very small. But occasionally, you will find some good stocks like this that you can get, and that comes off of a high-a-day scanner. You need a scanner that's able to read this type of volume and this movement right when it's happening in the market and to alert you of that. And Trade Ideas does that through our high-a-day scanner, and that's exactly what I was trying to say is, if you guys have Trade Ideas or get it, we can send those scans over to you, and you just download them right into your software, and then you'll already have them. But if that's the type of stocks you're referring to in terms of momentum, yes, you will need a scanner. Most oftentimes, they're going to have to be a paid scanner. And then a lot of times these moves you really won't even be able to catch, okay? Because it just happens so fast. By the time this was alerted on the scanner, the move was already up here, right? So by the time the scanner picks it up, the move's already happened to here, and it's alerting you that this move happened, right? Even if you get alerted as soon as it's right here, the stock's going to be, this move, what I'm trying to say is this move right here probably happened in 5 seconds. As in, this candle represents a 1 minute time frame, but the move probably happened in 5 seconds to up here, and then the rest of the 1 minute it was trading here. Okay, so most of that move happens very, very fast to begin with. All right. How do you identify a pullback in the market is question number 4. How do you identify a pullback in the market? We're going to have to go back over to screen share. So this seems like a silly question to me, but for some people, this might be exactly what you need to learn. So for one, just understand that a pullback in the market generally is going to be just a downward move in the market. So if we pull this up to a yearly chart here on the SPY, delete these old drawings. This is a pullback, that's 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 a pullback, 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 and then you can also argue that all of these moves are more like corrections, downward kind of small corrections, more so than a pullback, but at the end of the day, they're a pullback. It just means that after a stock moves up and it starts to pull back, that's the pullback. Stock moves up, pulls back, price declines and pulls back. And in vice versa, if a stock goes down, bounces back up, that's still a pullback. It's just pulling back the move, right? So you don't have to think of a pull back as in the stock is going backwards or down. Just understand that when a stock makes this move and starts to go down, it's pulling back from the move that it was making. So it goes both ways. Stock is going down and now it's pulling back away from the direction it was just going. So pullbacks are both upwards and downwards, okay? And it just means the stock is naturally coming back or reversing away from the direction that it was naturally moving in the first place or trending in, okay? I think your question is more on the lines of how do you predict a pullback? And there's numerous ways where you can predict a pullback, but naturally a pullback is going to occur after a stock hits resistance, after a stock has had multiple trending days in a row to the upside or the downside, things like that. After it's already had a really good move, it's more likely to kind of go on pause, take a break, pull back. After it's made a move up into resistance where it's had trouble breaking from before, there's a lot of sellers there, the stock will most likely stop moving up, kind of slow down and start to pull back. And the last question here, do you believe in news? If yes, what makes it credible? And where do you find the news, as well as how do you fish out authentic news from noise in the market? This is a really vast question, and it's really hard to answer in one straight shot because there's so many examples that we could discuss you just can't wrap it up all in one shot. So let's kick it off. Do I believe in news? Yes, I do. Do I not believe in news? Yes. Okay, so I could believe in news and I cannot believe in news, right? That's just the way it works, right? You shouldn't believe everything you hear, and, right, that's just it. So do I believe in news? Yes, I do believe in some. Do I not believe in some news? Yes. I mean, we already seen that ABC was covering up the Jeffrey Epstein story for 3 years, right? We see how the media, in just mainstream media, has complete agendas. So every time you listen to the news, more often times than not, the news that you're receiving is already twisted towards an agenda backed by propaganda. It's already all twisted anyway. So for one, you always want to try and read something that's sort of unbiased or gives you the feeling of an unbiased approach towards something when it comes to news, especially in the world we're in today. So yes, I believe in news and sometimes I don't. What makes it credible? If you ever come across some type of website, pumping stocks, and you're looking at the website and it has ads for like fat body burners, how to get a 6-pack in like 30 seconds, or something about liposuction or some type of fat reduction or boob job this. I mean, if it's any sort of thing like that with weird promotional ads, then it's usually not a credible source, because websites like that are just naturally catching you with clickbaity titles, trying to draw you into their website so that they can just make money off the advertisements on the site. So they really don't care what they're sending to you or telling you. It's more or less just to get you on the page. So if you ever come across some type of stock websites or something that looks really, really odd with these weird advertisements that might not even be what related to what you're reading on the page, like if you're coming to look at stocks, naturally you think the advertisements are going to be about stocks. Or if you're going to look at a car, naturally you're going to be getting advertised a car. But if I'm like looking for a car in Kelley Blue Book, and the next thing I see is about like Trojan condoms and drinking alcohol, it's like that doesn't really, why would exactly? It doesn't make any sense. So you wouldn't want to trust something like that. Trust things that are coming from, somewhat credible sources. Like CNBC is a credible website. Information on there, definitely not always credible. Like MarketWatch, credible website. Information coming through on MarketWatch, not always credible, okay? Everybody has 1,000 opinions when it comes to stocks. So really the news comes down to you determining how to pick and choose what you want to believe, right? And the reasons why you want to believe it. Do I listen to news? Yes, right? Do I live and die by news? No, I don't buy stocks to hold stocks based on news. I'll buy stocks and trade them based on news. News creates hype and momentum and can create fast moves in stocks, and that's what we want to trade, right? So yes, we do pay attention to the news. Depends on where you're getting it from. And no, I don't pay attention to all news. I'm going to go to screen share here. It's going to take a second to load. It's just kind of glitching out. So on Thinkorswim, down here is where I'll use the news tab, right? This news tab will tell me if everything pretty much related to the SPY down here. Or if I were to pull up, let's just do Roku, for example. If I pull up Roku, everything that comes in down here on this news tab is going to be related to the stock, some other business that has competition with Roku. Pretty much anything that has to do with streaming that's related to Roku, it will go down here in this news tab. And you can get that by clicking this little live news tab here on the right on your stock chart, and this will come up. The news that comes in here is delayed by a little bit. It's not perfect, but it's very fast, but it's not exactly perfect. It's to the point where Roku could have an explosive move in the middle of the day because of news, and by the time it hits down here, the move will have already happened. As in, Roku stock will start spiking out of nowhere, and you're going to want to look down at the news and read it to justify whether or not you want to buy into it. And by the time the move happens and you're like, let me at least analyze the news and see what's going on. We're already starting to move, but is there a reason why it's moving? Then you look down here and you can't find a reason because it's not there. It's already hit the net somewhere, already hit the wire somewhere. You just haven't gotten it. And that's because Thinkorswim's little news feed here isn't exactly that quick. If you use something like Benzinga or another paid news service, then you're going to get the news pretty much instantly as soon as it hits the wire. You're going to be the first to take judgment on that and decide whether or not you want to buy something. So news really just doesn't naturally come in that fast here on Thinkorswim. But there's a way around it. What you can do is you can watch, excuse me, let me pull this up. You can watch a different portion of news on Thinkorswim. So if you have your screen up like this, you go to support chat here, and you can go into chat rooms, and then you can open up Benzinga Squawk here. This is a chat room, kind of like a little free TOS chat room. Only thing I really use this for is the news that comes through from Benzinga Charlie. And so that's basically them just reporting news on various different stocks. And even that can get a little bit crazy sometimes because there's just so many little pieces coming out. Not all of them even make sense to trade. It's not like it's even going to make the stock move. So if you're looking for something that gets your news a little bit quicker on there, you could use the kind of the news updates that come from Benzinga Charlie here in the Squawk on Thinkorswim. But other than that, when it comes to news, pick and choose your battle, right? But at the end of the day, news is news. I am more so 100% on trading price action and formation on charts than I am about following news around the market. If I'm focusing on a stock for the day and I'm going to trade it, then all of a sudden it has really positive news, great, even better. Am I necessarily searching around the market every single day to find a stock that has hot news that's going to make it move? No, I'm sticking to a couple basic names and analyzing them. If I like to trade them, then I'll trade them on the day. And if there is or just so happens to be a stock that's jumping up with news around it, then I'll focus on it. But I don't go searching for that, right? Don't go searching and chasing news around the market. Just like you don't want to chase a stock, right? You don't want to chase a stock trade after it starts to move. Same thing. You don't want to chase stocks around the market trying to find what's moving, right? That's another thing. There's two forms of chasing stocks. You don't want to try and chase a stock that's already started moving on the day to make a trade, same as you don't want to chase stocks from stock to stock to stock to stock to stock, looking and searching and trying to find something that's moving right then and there off of some type of news. Just keep following one stock or two stocks in the day and watch them and see how they're setting up. And eventually you're going to catch the move on the stock for the day and you'll make money. All right. So hope you guys liked the video. Hope we learned something new. As always, make sure to thumbs up the video and or subscribe. Hit the notification bell if you haven't done so already. And leave your comments or questions in the comment section below. And you might just be on our next video when we do this. All right, guys, everybody take care. Have a great night. And I'll see you on the next video.